What's going on, everybody? My name is Wolf21, and now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty part about plugins for server related for Minecraft. The one that we're going to do now is permissions. All the tutorials currently I'm going to do is all the plugins that I'm currently running on my server, just at a desktop in my place. So what we're going to do first is we have the server up and running. There's no plugins currently running. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the interwebs and go to bukkit.org. And on the right hand side, you're going to see get plugins. Now, this can possibly change the location of this or the wording of it. So, but right now it's called get plugins. So we're going to click on get plugins. And here is where all the plugins for the Minecraft server that you can see. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to its admin tools and then type in permissions. If I could type it in right. And the permissions plugin is right here, version 2.7.2 Phoenix by the Yeti. So you're going to click on that. It's going to open up the thread for the permissions plugin. Usually at the top, there's the download of the zip file. They'll have past versions also. And it'll give you the full explanation of everything that happens with that particular plugin. The features, how to install it, frequently asked questions, the change log, in case you want to know if anything got changed. Usually they'll put the number by what version of Craft Bukkit when you download, of which one will work with your the version that you downloaded. So the one that we initially downloaded from the original tutorial, if you go back to bukkit.org, on the right hand side, the recommended build latest one was 740. So that's the current one that we're currently running from if you watch the other tutorial. But always keep an eye out for what build version that you did download for Minecraft server. Also, if you look in the console for this server, when you first initially run it, said this server is running Craft Bukkit version. It gives the gives all the numbers. Towards the end of it, it should say what version of the server that you're currently running, what build you're currently running for Bukkit. Okay, so go back to the permissions forum post. Look to see where it is for the download. This is for any of the plugins, but this one in particular is permissions. So we're going to click on download. It is downloaded. We're going to drag right to the desktop. Make it super quick. Okay, so we got the permission zip file. We're going to right click it. Use 7-zip. Now for this particular one, what you're going to do is you're going to extract the permissions folder and the permissions.jar file. So we're going to extract. We're actually going to go like this, desktop, Bukkit, plugins. Okay. So you want to extract the files and put them in your server folder and then the plugins folder. Okay? Should be done. Now if we have our server folder open, or the server's currently being running, if you go into the plugins folder, you should see permissions, the folder, and permissions.jar. I just happen to have iChat in there, but I'll be doing a different tutorial on that one. So you're going to see permissions.jar and then the permissions folder. Now what we can do from the console end itself is that if you type in, if it's currently running, type in reload, and then all the plugins will reinitialize. So now it says permissions, Phoenix was initialized, the iChat's in there, and then the permissions version, it says there's a version number, and it says this loaded. So pretty much it's good to go. Now it's installed. Now this is the tricky part, is configuring permissions for your groups so you can specify who has what access to what and can build and who can't build and all that fun stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're going to configure permissions for your world and start setting up your groups and users. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the permissions folder. If you don't know how to get there, you need to get into your wherever your server folder is, which I think mine's being hidden right now. There it is. I'm just running it off my desktop. Probably not a good location for it, but open your server, go into the plugins folder, go into the permissions folder, and you're going to see a rename-me.yml file. Now, this file we're going to have to rename to the same name as your world. So for our instance, if you do not know what your world is running, you need to go into the server.properties and the root of your server. You're going to open it with Notepad, make sure no programs get associated with it. In our level name, or the world name, is called new series. So we're going to copy that. We're going to close that. We only have to copy. You just have to remember the name. So we're going to go back into plugins, permissions. We're going to rename this new series. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open this file. You can open this file in Notepad also. Let's make sure that it don't associate the program with anything else. Just leave it as a YML file. All right. Now we got the permissions YML file open. Now this is where you do not want to screw up anything. What I mean by that is you do not want to use, because it looks like these are tabbed over. These are actually spaces. If you actually move your keyboard around these, they're all spaces. You do not ever want to press tab at any given moment throughout any of this YML file. If you do, it'll guarantee to screw up. So you do not want to press tab. You want to hit literally 4 spaces. The next one down is 4 spaces. They're all 4 spaces away. Your best bet to do if you want to copy any of these groups, because there's 3 here. There's default, there's moderator, and there's admins. What you can do is if you want to copy a group, just highlight the entire group, hit Control C, go after the last one, Control V to enter, and just to make it look nice, you can hit this 4 times. If I can count. 4, and you can recall this like noobs. Okay, now the first one is the first group is default, and that's always true. The building is false, which means if anybody's within the default group, that means they cannot build at all. It doesn't matter. As long as there's no permissions or it's not inherited by any other groups. Now, what you want to make sure that where you're at is, since you're the admin of the group, is that you're in the admins. And to have all the permissions for every plugin that you have installed in your server, you want to have this. It's a dash space colon ampersand sign. I forgot that character is. It's not a tilde. Single quote, star, single quote. And this will mean that you have access to everything and every plugin that you're currently running on your server. Noobs, we definitely do not want to have anything, so we're going to actually delete this. Okay. So again, if you want to set up new groups, just copy an existing group, paste it below it, make sure that there's no tabs, it's all spaces between everything. You can rename it. This is the name of the group. And then the permissions themselves I'll get into soon, because that's going to require other plugins so that you can do different stuff within the system. Okay. Below that section is the users. these are the people that you're going to have on your server. So there's ones in here that are just by default, just to show you. So what we're going to do is, since I'm Wolf21, I'll put in Wolf21. I'm part of the admins group, which is above. That's just right here, admins. Just going to put admins down here. You can put extra special permissions for a particular person if you want. You could also have information, which is a prefix and suffix. So we're actually going to copy this, hit enter, paste. We're going to space this over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 4. All right. Prefix, we're going to go rock on. Suffix, always. All right. And we're just going to keep these names in here because they're not on the whitelist anyway. So we're going to file, save this, exit, go back into the console. We're going to reload. And now we're going to go into Minecraft. Let's launch. Multiplayer, you're going to connect to your personal server IP address. It's going to load in. All right. So leave the text up. It says rock on. I'm the group admins. Always. I'll have to figure out how to space that correctly, but you can see how the prefix and suffix embeds itself within there. That's my name, and then it has test. So that worked. Let's disconnect. Close out of Minecraft. Let's go back into the server folder again. Plugins, permissions, new series, .yml or your YML file. We're going to open it so you can edit it. Make sure you don't associate it with any programs. Okay. So I said the admins group that I have right here, it has permissions for everything. If you want to limit it, let's say, let's call noobs, we want this build to be false. And then I'm going to place myself in the noobs folder. So you just call it exactly the way it is. We're actually going to take out the suffix. Delete. Okay, it's good. Make sure there's no tabs. You didn't hit tab anywhere. We're going to save this. We're going to exit out. Reload. Launch Minecraft again. Log in. Multiplayer. Your server. Let's connect. Let's see if we can nope. I can't. I destroyed land. It automatically comes back. I do not have rights. I am a pure noob. Boop. Comes back. Okay. Test. I have the prefix. Rock on. I'm the group noobs. My name, test. Okay. Let's close out of Minecraft. So you can see how this works. We're going to go back into the plugins folder again. In permissions. New series. We're going to open it up with Notepad. We're going to put me back in admin. Admins. Make sure the spelling is correct for whatever folder group that you're using. And let's save it. Exit out. Reload. In the console, relaunch Minecraft. Now you could do this on the fly too within Minecraft. As long as you're part of the admin group, you should be good to go as far as reloading if you want to add somebody or give somebody specific access to do stuff on the server end. So we're going to log in. Okay, I'm in. So we're going to type, should be able to do permissions, space, reload all. So the command for that is /permissions space dash reload space all. And then you can do it on the fly. So while you're in Minecraft, and say if you wanted to add somebody into a group or a permission for a specific person, you can go into your plugins folder, in the permissions folder. You can open up your server named YML file. You're going to open it up. Your editing program. So say if I wanted to add, let's see. If I wanted to add Lucklin, I want to add them to noobs. We're not going to have a prefix of moocow, even though that's what we're hearing right now. And permissions, we're not going to. The only thing that we're going to give him is, let's see. I think it's time day. Actually, no, let's give him help. Save. The name is there. The group is there. There's no extra spaces around. You can specify permissions for particular people too, not just the groups. If they're part of a particular group, they're going to inherit everything within that particular group. So we're going to save. Close out of the YML file. Since you're on the server end, on the server you can do /permissions space dash reload all, enter, permissions reloaded. Then you're good to go. Hello, pig. Exit, disconnect, and close out of it. Now that's the basic setup for permissions. Once after you have all of your other plugins installed, each and every one of those plugins have a particular code for the permissions within the permissions file. So this is just foo.bar. That's pretty much the setup for all the plugins. They'll give you very specific whatever to use for their codes. Once I get into those other permissions, I will show you them, which I think the next one's going to be command book. I'll show you command book, how to set them up in permissions, and how it works on the server end. All right, this has helped you out. Make sure you click subscribe, give it a thumbs up and like, and always remember to rock on.